The pistol round meta has changed so much in 2021, and I will admit that it has been hard to keep up with these past few months. Nerfs, buffs, price changes, and all the above have influenced how the pistol category functions within the Valorant meta. And today, we've made a guide to give you insight on how to navigate through it. What's up, ProGuides family? It's your host, Sergeant Frost, and today, we have a pistol round guide for patch 2.03. Before we hop in, I want to let you guys know that we have a new Valorant course on our website written by the pro player Psalm from Team Dignitas. Psalm is known for having one of the greatest strategic and analytical minds in all of esports. In this course, he covers the Valorant fundamentals ranging from aim and movement to defaulting and round development. You will finish this course with sharpened game knowledge, secrets from a pro player, and you'll have the right mindset to improve. Make sure when you purchase anything on our website to use the promo code FPS25 for a discount on anything you buy. Now, let's not waste any more time and hop right into it. To start off this video, we have to say that the pistol round meta has become crazy diverse in episode 2. Valorant has been out for almost a year now, and players of all elos are starting to figure out the best ways to play the different phases throughout the game, with the pistol round included. The standard meta of buying a ghost and all of your abilities are not the standard anymore. Depending on your agent, there are so many guns you can use with different ability and armor combos. Let's move into our first section describing what the pistol round meta is in patch 2.03 and move on from there. So, what's the best loadout for pistol round, you might ask? Well, we have to preface this conversation by stating that each agent's loadout will be different on pistol round, especially when it comes to what they want to buy versus what they need to buy. Every agent's loadout is affected by one main factor: are you starting pistol round on defense or offense? For example, if you're playing Cypher on defense, you're going to want to buy his cages so that the attackers have a harder time seeing into and walking into sight. But if you're Cypher starting the round on offense, you're going to want to buy tripwires so that you can have your flank covered, or you might want to save them for after the plant goes down. In that type of situation, you would want to put your trips in areas that would alert your team as to where the enemy team will be coming from. Learning which type of loadouts you need for each agent can take a lot of work and research on your end. You can lighten that workload by visiting our website ProGuides.com, and through our courses and coaches on our website, you can learn the best pistol round strategies to give yourself the best chances of winning every pistol round you walk into, guaranteed. Our veteran high elo coaches would love to work with you and iron out all of your performance hiccups in your play. Head over to ProGuides.com to make yourself a better player today. Now that we've talked about the importance of making sure you know your agent well enough to do their job properly, let's talk about all the pistols in the meta and which ones you will want to be using. The classic pistol is the standard pistol every agent gets for free. It used to be unreasonably strong because of its right-click burst fire mode, but after several sets of nerfs looking to bring this gun's power down, that is no longer the case. The classic pistol can be ideal for agents that need to buy multiple abilities to facilitate their team on pistol round. Supportive agents like Sage and Skye are great examples that come into mind for this. Sage benefits from buying wall and her slows on pistol round, so sticking to the classic is not a bad idea when it comes to investing your credits tactically and efficiently. Skye is in the same boat in this situation. Buying her flashes and her heal can be the difference between your team winning and losing the pistol round. Opting to stick with the classic pistol can free up the credit she needs to facilitate her team with her abilities, which oftentimes will lead to a free round win. Our verdict on the classic is to only stick with it if you absolutely need it. If not, don't use it. After the right click got nerfed, this thing is not as powerful as it once was, and you'll find yourself getting outgunned by a player with an accurate shot. Moving on to the Frenzy, the only thing the price nerf did was prevent people from buying Frenzy and light armor and making themselves tanks in pistol round. Now, you might not be able to get armor on the first round with this thing, but it is surely still one of the best pistols off stats alone. The Frenzy is a monster because of how much damage it can do at close range, while still being very accurate while running. Don't let the community's outcry about the nerfs scare you. This gun is still more than capable when put in the right hands. The Frenzy did receive a slight price hike from 400 credits to 500, but that does not change any of the gun's damage or handling stats at all. With that being said, our verdict is that this is still the second best pistol on the pistol round outside of the Ghost and the Sheriff. While you might not be able to buy light armor for yourself and a Frenzy anymore, you can always ask your team if you can raid boss with the Frenzy, and we will get more into that topic later. Transitioning onto the Ghost, this is hands down the best and most consistent pistol in the entire game. If you want consistent results in your pistol rounds, learn this thing and get good with it as fast as possible. The Ghost is never really the target of nerfs or buffs, so it's always a stable pick within the game. This gun is 500 credits, so you won't be able to buy armor with it unless you ask your team to be raid boss. Our verdict is that this should always be your go-to pistol unless you're using the Frenzy or another pistol for whatever reason. The Ghost when mastered will never let you down whether you're shooting from up close or from far away. This gun is never a bad choice no matter what agent you're using as well. Moving on to the Shorty, this gun has been heavily nerfed when Riot was trying to regain control of the shotgun class last year, so it doesn't pack as much of a punch as it used to. Unless you are in point blank range or if the enemy is already hurt, you won't find yourself getting many kills or doing significant damage at all at that point. Our verdict is to stay away from this gun at all costs unless you're playing Jet and have a special strategy set up on how to use it. Outside of that, this gun isn't worth your time or money at all. Last but not least is the Sheriff. The Sheriff is the most powerful pistol in the entire class, but despite how strong it is awful on the pistol round. You might be asking yourself right now, but if it's a one-shot headshot, it's surely worth the money, right? Well, my answer to that is yes and no. It's not worth the money because on pistol round, you only have 800 credits, so if you buy this thing, you won't have any cash, armor, or abilities left for the round. On top of that, on pistol rounds, many players like to run at you in full sprint, which is not something that a sheriff user wants to be dealing with. The sheriff is best used standing still and holding an angle from far away. Players on pistol rounds will like to W key into sights and run and spray at anything that moves. And this can be trouble for a sheriff user if they get pushed after they miss their initial shot. Our verdict is that the sheriff is the best pistol in the game on normal buy rounds, and it's terrible for pistol rounds because of its very high price, and it's very situational for how it can be used effectively. With that being said, there's no justifiable reason to purchase it at all unless you're asking your team to be the raid boss. And after that, it probably still isn't worth the hassle, especially if you die with it. Before we move on further into the video, you guys know we can't go on without our question of the day. Today's question is, what guns do you think need price adjustments within the game? Personally, I think the Sheriff and the Bulldog could use some price decreases. They are really good guns, but no one ever buys or uses them because they are price steep compared to their counterparts in their class. Let us know what guns you guys think need changed in the comment section down below. Now, let's hop right back into the video. Okay, we now know what the best pistols are within the meta. Let's talk about some strats that you can use to dominate the pistol rounds. One of the most famous strategies that was born in the early days of CSGO is the Raid Boss. The Raid Boss is when a player asks his team to buy them an expensive weapon like the Ghost, Frenzy, or Sheriff, and then they proceed to buy armor and abilities with the remaining 800 credits. This effectively allows for that player to have a big advantage over the enemy team, which makes it harder to bring them down. Imagine a Phoenix or a Reyna marching into a site with a Sheriff or a Ghost and having armor and both of their flashes. That's a scary sight, trust me. I've been on the receiving end of that many times in organized play. But that doesn't mean a Raid Boss is without its flaws either. When one player gets all the gear from his team, that means that at least one player is at a significant disadvantage on their team, because that means they won't be able to upgrade their pistol, buy armor, or have multiple abilities for the round. This makes that player significantly easier to kill and puts their team's plans in jeopardy if they go down early in the round. The Raid Boss can be a nice strategy and coordinated play when you're stacking with your friends, but in solo queue, it can turn into disaster if things don't go according to plan. Now, let's move on to attacking strats. Since both sides don't really have all their abilities but only the most crucial ones, one of the main strategies you can use is the 5-man rush into one of the sites. Since the defenders won't have 5 people on one site, they won't have access to all the abilities they need in order to slow down that push. The goal here is to hard rush the site and pick up kills before the defenders from the other site can rotate. Planting here is also extremely important because you will need those 300 credits for the next round. So as soon as you have an opportunity to plant, do so. If the push didn't go so well and you're down 2 or more players, many defenders have already probably rotated in. Trying to force this push any further is no longer a good idea. From here, stop the push, go back, and reconsider what you can do next. In many circumstances, the defenders will send one person to actually flank you and not just rotate through CT. Try to pick up that kill and then try your luck on the other side. Alternatively, spread out around the map and try to win the round by picking off defenders that are now probably getting pretty cocky and aggressive. Now, let's move on to defending strats. When playing on defense, many players will go the safe way and just spread out on the sites. They will usually just hold an angle and wait for the attackers to do something. This may seem safe in hindsight, but if a 5-man push happens like I explained above, you won't have any time to rotate and you'll probably lose the round in most cases. What you should do instead is try to hold important angles where you can actually hear a 5-man push on time and call it out to your team. Listening here is the most important key. Don't just stand on the back of site and wait for them to swarm the site. By the time that swarm actually comes, your chances of winning the round are probably down the toilet. If you don't hear anything for a reasonable amount of time, an educated guess is that one of the other sites is probably going to be attacked. And when you know that, you can already prepare for a rotation and get in position to rotate there as fast as possible. If a 5-man push does happen on the site you're defending, you're probably going to be outnumbered. In that situation, don't fight them, back off, and call for the rotates immediately. Use any utility you have to slow them down, such as Sage Wall or Omen Smokes, and whatever you do, just don't die. Well everyone, that's all we have for the patch 2.03 pistol guide. Make sure you check out our website ProGuides.com for our new courses written by pro players, and be sure to schedule a session with our highly loyal coaches who are committed to making you a better player. Make sure to check out our brand new guide written by the Pro Player Psalm, and don't forget to use the code FPS25 for discounts on anything on our website. This has been Sergeant Frost, and I will see you all in the next one.